Welcome to my rejuvenation session with me, Coach Becca Kawaoka. Hey guys, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for this 15-minute session. All you'll need today is just a bottle of water. The whole purpose of today is to rejuvenate and energize, and water can definitely help with that. So have that handy, but that is all the equipment that you'll need. All right, let's get comfortable. I'm just gonna cross one leg over the other. That way my foot's off the floor. And what I'm gonna do is assist myself in an ankle circle. I'm gonna go one direction fully, and then I'm gonna circle back in the other direction. And if it's hard for you or painful for you to cross one leg over the other, you could try sitting on a pillow or in a chair, and that might take a little pressure off. But the whole point here is really big, slow circles in each direction, and just exploring the ankle space. So we want to rotate, you want to feel your foot invert and kind of evert, as well as pointing and flexing as well. If you don't have a lot of range of motion side to side, that's okay. You can do some point and flexes as well. And we're going to switch to the other side. So again, kind of see where you're at with ankle mobility. It might be great, it might be not so great, and that's okay. Just see where you're at today, and let's just continue exploring for space, and that'll look different for everybody. Again, if you can't do circles, try just pointing and flexing. Try just rotating in and out. Kind of as a fun fact, I like to make a comparison from like the wrist joint to the ankle joint, as well as the elbows to the knees, and then the hips to the shoulders. So you know, if you're struggling to visualize, just roll your hand around a couple times, and that's kind of what we're trying to do with our ankles. All right, really nice job there. The next one we're going to kind of do a little build on, so we're going to start with a kneeling runner's lunge. If you want to kneel onto a pillow, you're more than welcome to. If you've got some knee pain, we don't want any pain today. So first you'll notice me trying to find an Achilles and ankle stretch. So I'm trying to get my ankle to flex as much as I can. So if I'm flexible, I'll just pull that foot closer to my hips. Now what I'm going to try to do is bring my heel towards my hamstring back here. You'll see where my left hand's pointing. So I'm just lifting that foot off the ground. Now that's optional to go into knee flexion. You don't have to do 5 of these with me if you don't like. You can just hold that ankle stretch. This is for hamstrings and knees. And now I'm just gonna reach back and grab. If you have a yoga belt or a strap or a towel, you could use that here too. Again, you could still just be holding that runner's lunge for about 60 to 90 seconds, and that would be just fine here. We're gonna switch sides here soon. Beautiful. Go to the other side. And this whole time we're trying to take nice deep breaths. Okay, again, I'm gonna point to my Achilles. That's what I'm trying to stretch. It's by bringing my ankle into the deepest flexion possible. Quick reminder that heel should be on the ground. I'm just pushing my body weight into a great hip and ankle stretch. And you wanna find what works for you. Maybe you're feeling flexible today. Maybe you had a big workout day yesterday and you're not feeling as flexible. That's why I like to just remind myself, here's my Achilles, that's what I'm stretching. Next, I'm gonna get the hamstring and knee going with some knee flexions. This is optional. If you need to hold on for balance on this side, I'm a little wobbly, so I'm gonna grab on and just work on some balance there. I'm just gonna hold on to that wall nearby me, and that's fine. This isn't necessarily a balance exercise. It's more about mobility, so you can humble yourself and hold on if you need some help. Again, this shouldn't be painful. And then option to go into that quad stretch. You can assist with a towel or a strap or a belt if you need to, or you could still just be holding the runner's lunge. Again, deep breaths in through the nose, hold and out through the mouth throughout this entire session, just to continue, rejuvenating mind and body. Awesome. Next, we're gonna do a nice little hip series. So come on down into what I call the 90-90 position. You may sit on a towel or a pillow if you're limited in this position. So my knee is bent 90 degrees in front of me. My back knee is 90 degrees from my hip. So that back knee, what I'm kind of pointing to there, that's important that you push that back as far as you're able. And this should be somewhat comfortable. It might feel like a stretch already, and that's fine. You could bring the arms overhead. You could bring your arms overhead and then go into this torso stretch, but I'm just starting with a nice little torso rotation and taking some deep breaths. So just to kind of kick things off there. And now what I'm going to go ahead and do is lift my back ankle off the ground 5 times. I'm placing my hands on the floor so I don't lean forward in order to make it easier for my hips to internally rotate and cause this movement. So try to be somewhat disciplined. Your foot might barely leave the floor. It might not be able to lift up at all. Just try to stimulate that pattern. And now we're going to go ahead and do 5 knee lifts off the floor. So more of an external rotation movement from the hip. All in that 90-90 position that you see so often in my videos. And now we're going to bring that back foot all the way through and make a 4 kind of position with our legs. We're going to do that 5 times. Yep, so now we're getting the kind of the hip to do everything and getting the knee involved a little bit as well. This should be doable, but if it's painful or not doable for you today, again, sit on a pillow, try elevating your hips a little bit, or you can just hold that 90-90 trunk rotation stretch we started with. There's an option for everyone today and for how everybody feels, and it's going to be different because we're all different. Okay, so we're going to switch sides now. Again, you can do this with your arms overhead if you'd like, but my knees are just 90 degrees, one in front, one in back, parallel to the hip. Just holding that stretch, taking a couple deep breaths. It always feels good to breathe when you're slightly rotated. And now we're just going to try to lift the back foot off the ground. If you can't lift it, that's okay. You could try even just placing something underneath that foot and holding a slightly elevated stretch, but you don't want to go anywhere where there's a pain. We're just trying to create a little more space in our hip joint. And the hip joint is special because it can really do a lot of things. And now we're going to move to external rotation, or the knee lift off. And just take some deep breaths with this. You might be way more mobile than me. You may be less mobile, and that doesn't have any indication of your worth. This just might be where your body is saying it's at for today, and we need to take note of that. And kind of now we're going to move into that half sit through, where we just take the foot and place it from behind us to in front of us, and kind of that now backwards 4 position. Just kind of like I like to use the analogy of oiling up the hip joint a little bit there. All right, nice job on the hip series. All right, we're going to do one more for the lower body. It's called an ankle windshield wiper. I mean, that's what I call it. You can call any of these whatever you want. I'm not in charge of naming exercises. But we're going to kind of work that shin box area. So I want you just to lift your leg off the ground so that you can move your foot side to side while it's in flexion. Okay? So I'm holding just behind my knee here because I don't want my hip to do the work. I want my knee and my ankle to kind of work together to rotate side to side. So an injury prevention exercise for the knee and the ankle. I even sometimes place my hand right in front of my knee just to kind of feel that bone there, your tibia, feel that rotating side to side right there. Okay, I'm on the other side now, and I'm doing about 5 per side, about 10 to 12 total. Kind of just till it feels good, if I'm being honest. If you've done knee cars with me in the past, this would be a great time to hit pause and do a couple knee cars per side if you'd like. Okay, now's a great time just to reset, get some water, readjust if you need to. Again, like I said, water will definitely help rejuvenate your body, so take a couple big sips, and we're gonna go into now more of the spine and shoulder region since we've taken care of the lower body. So on all fours, we're gonna go into what's called cat, and then we're gonna go into what's called cow. I'm sure you've done these if you've done my videos in the past, and if you haven't, let's walk through it. I'm gonna tuck my chin and lift my spine up towards the sky and roll my pelvis kind of in junction with that. Now I'm gonna lift my chin, kind of arch or scoop my lower back and rotate my pelvis along with that. So it's from your chin through your spine into your pelvis, and it's kind of this beautiful accordion to work on spine mobility. This is also a great form drill if you're learning key lifts. I just want you to know there's over 20 vertebrae in your spine, so don't do this so quickly that you're only really exercising 2 of them. You want to touch base with almost every vertebrae or all vertebrae, and work on getting a bendy spine. We want that spine to be flexible and kind of juicy. So dig in, go slow, and use your breathing. Inhale where it feels good and where you can create space, and exhale on the opposite movement. Okay, stay on all fours, and we're going to do a kneeling shoulder car. So I'm going to use my left hand to make it into a blade, lifting my palm up towards the ceiling. I'm going to keep my core and glutes tight, lift the palm up, rotate it at the highest point all the way back, as far back as I can, and rotate it as far as I can, and then bring it back to the start position. Inhale, lift up, rotate, 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 reach back. Inhale, rotate and reach up and around again. Exhale down. Inhale, brace that core, lift up. Rotate, reach back, always trying to find and create space. Exhaling here, inhaling up again, and exhaling down. Looking really strong, you guys. And this is all shoulder mobility right here, and kind of like strengthening our shoulder joint in a deep way. Mobility training really can be strength training. Nice job. And we're going to go ahead and switch sides here. Again, thinking about keeping our core strong and our glutes strong throughout this, and using our breath to enhance our reach, enhance our experience. Remember, when we have deep inhales and exhales, it can really help with our ability to relax and sometimes create and find more space. So I just invite you to really find where your breath is today, especially if you've had a stressful day or week or month or year or a couple of years, right? Any little bit can help. Or a stressful workout or stressful race season or competition phase. Or the opposite, you're extremely out of shape. I mean, everyone's coming from a different place, but we all share something in common by coming here, and that's that we'd like to improve. So we all have that common shared space of wanting to find a better version of ourselves today. And that's what's so special about training. We share that. So again, really focusing on rotating in a car. Car stands for controlled. So that's why we're going at such a slow and controlled pace. Articular, kind of a fancy way of saying joint, if you ask me. And the R stands for rotation. All right, y'all, we're on our last exercise. So I'm going to start with the full thing. Okay, so I'm going to show you 2 rounds of a big, I'm bowing here. I'm rotating to the side. This is all for my trunk and spine. I'm kind of going into a little arch in the back here, and then I'm rotating towards the other side. So I'm kind of getting my spine to do everything it can do, which is lean side to side, flex, extend. So we're kind of bringing cat and cow into the kneeling pose, and let me show you from the side here, and then we'll break it down a little bit for those of you that struggle with it. See, I'm rounding out the spine, leaning to the side, and we don't want any pain here. If there's a sticky spot or a painful spot, just bend, but don't break, if that makes sense. One big circle around the globe, and then I'm going to go back the way that I came. Here we're just doing like kneeling cat, cow, flexion, extension. So you can just stay here if you'd like, or maybe this is also no bueno for you. The spine can be kind of tricky depending on what you've been through. So let's try going laterally, side to side, and it's good to do kind of all of these. You could even start with the lateral work and then flexion, extension, and then go into the big circle. It really is up to you. It's your body. Let's try that circuit one more time. Maybe that breaking it into pieces helped a little bit. And if you don't like the big circle, then just, pick the flexion, extension, or side to side work that you liked. Great time to just really touch base with a deep inhale and exhale. Let's do one more with each direction, and then we're going to be done, you guys. Awesome work. Maybe a good time to reflect on where our body felt really great and where it might need more love and attention. Awesome work, guys. Thank you so much for joining me in this 15-minute rejuvenation session. Special thanks to my lighting specialists, Red and Brownlee, for helping me get the lighting right. They were great models to get ready to go, and they're pretty cute if I do say so myself. Just wanted to say thanks again for joining me. See you again next time. Subscribe if it helps keep you up to date. See you again soon.